Japan invaded Manchuria in 1931. Subsequent confrontations between China and Japan culminated in the outbreak of the Sino-Japanese War on the 7th of July, 1937. British and Australian military planners, long suspicious of Japan's imperial ambitions, grew ever more anxious. Britain responded by implementing plans for the construction of a naval fortress at Singapore. However, poor planning and insufficient funds would undermine this attempt to check Japanese expansionism. In September 1940, Japan signed the Tripartite Pact, allying itself with Nazi Germany and Fascist Italy. Australia, at war with these powers for the past year, had sent 3 of the 4 AIF divisions to serve in the Middle East. Only 8th Division remained in the region. 2 of the 8th, 3 brigades, were garrisoned in Malaya and Singapore, alongside British and Indian troops. The 3rd Brigade was split into 3 battalions, and each became the nucleus of island garrisons to the north of Australia. Lark Force was sent to Rabaul, Gull Force to Ambon, and Sparrow Force to Timor. In December 1941, Japan attacked British Malaya and the American naval base at Pearl Harbor. A perilous new chapter of the Second World War had begun. Japanese forces quickly drove south through Malaya. Anglo-Indian and Australian forces sent to stop them could barely slow their advance. On the 15th of February 1942, the British Empire suffered its greatest ever defeat when Singapore fell. Over 100,000 Commonwealth troops became prisoners of war, a figure which included 15,000 Australians. Also lost during this period were the 3 Bird Force garrisons. These catastrophes were compounded when Australian troops returning home from the Middle East were diverted to Java. These troops, called Black Force, and numbering more than 3,000, were also captured. Over 2,000 Australians had died in combat with the Japanese. More than 22,000 had become captives. Before war's end, over 8,000 of these would die. Back home, Japanese raids on Darwin, Broome, Sydney and Newcastle heightened fears among Australians. In March 1942, the Japanese landed in New Guinea to the country's immediate north, setting the scene for the bloody Papuan and New Guinea campaigns to come.